good, everybody? So we have this video by the #1 Kurabot himself, Gacha Smack. The biggest problems with exploration in gacha games. Ooh, pretty interesting. I'm going to admit something to you here about myself and how I play gacha games. Usually when it comes to open world RPGs, I like exploring. I do. I like exploring systems, going into caves, finding new quests, finding information that leads you onto new paths that you'll find on your own. But when it comes to gacha games, I get criticized a lot for being a tourist. And one of the biggest reasons why is because they see my map and they see that I barely have my explorations filled out. Let me give you like an example, like right here. I go into Wua. You can look at my map right now, and I still haven't fully explored the whole of Ridasuka. It's been so long, and I still have like 49, 74, 43, 93. I haven't done it. I still haven't done it, and the reason being is because I don't actually care that much about the exploration. I think the views are pretty and flying around is nice, but I've never felt particularly compelled to finish and do my explorations. So I'm actually kind of wondering, from someone who has that perspective, what Gacha Smack thinks the problem is with exploration in gacha games. And I think I have a feeling I might end up agreeing with a lot of what he's saying. So let's go and find out what he's going to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to have a very insightful discussion as to why exploration inside of a gacha game will forever remain shallow. Now, there is a caveat to this, and that is when the main story quest is updating, that's when you get the absolute best exploration experience. And the reason that is because many of the world building aspects are tied to that MSQ progressing. Not only that,
they handhold you, they take you through the areas that they want you to see the most. 100%.
But the music, ambiance, and vibes, new music, ambiance, and vibes, map expansion, all of it's tied to the MSQ progressing.
Oh, by the way, just off like topic a little bit, that's why I love Expedition 33's like world, because it's a linear game, right? It's a linear game, but I really love it when games are linear, but they're so detailed and everything makes sense and it fits. Sometimes open worlds aren't just for me. I'm not a huge open world enjoyer as it is, which kind of plays into everything. I like areas that have like specific purpose and are designed very particularly to make you like achieve a certain thing.
It's very linear, controlled, and it doesn't give off a genuine adventure. The adventure is very much finite and tied to that update patch. And most importantly, once it's done, it leaves you with a world that feels very bland and empty. And I want to explain precisely why that is, what elements are lacking, and why this is the experience and case. Now, firstly, I want to talk about the big pro of the aforementioned things. They all tie into only one component of exploration. They don't make it up entirely. That is world design. You'll notice that gacha companies do not hold back on their budget allocated to world design. That's because it's the biggest component that can pump fake the viewer.
Like, you also have to remember as well, Genshin Impact is also a good example of this. A lot of the MSQs will take over like a couple of like areas, and you won't explore like 80% of the rest of like the map updates. Usually that's left to like side quests that not everyone does, or like world quests or exploration quests. So actually most of the world is built around side quests kind of, and that's why sometimes it might feel a little bit empty.
Into believing there's more to offer. Look at how beautiful our world is. Look at that music, that ambiance, those vibes. Man, those stunning visuals look great, don't they? I bet it's a whole lot to explore. Not really, but they do in fact do a damn good job, don't they? In fact, I dare say the world design in these gacha games is not only the best in its genre, it's the best, probably debatably, in the entirety of the gaming industry. Sometimes I take a look at these things and I go, holy shit, I don't think I've seen a better atmosphere than the one before me right now. However, as we see many times in gaming trailers, just because it looks good doesn't mean it is good. Let's start off with monumental problem number.
How many, this is actually kind of an interesting point. How many people have like gone in the gondolas and just like explored around outside of like the first like day or two? It's one of those things that you kind of go through once and then it kind of just becomes a thing that's there. I really feel this is just a consequence of open world games. I do feel this is a consequence of not necessarily like gacha, but just like open world games in general. Once you've experienced something, that's kind of like you've experienced it, you know. Like sometimes like I will like fly around Renacida when I'm like on a call with someone, when I'm just like talking or whatever it is. Yeah, novelty wears off. No, absolutely. Like it's very much like a first impression kind of thing. You go to an area for the first time, you're like, whoa, that's really cool. And then like you've kind of experienced it. It's just the way that we consume and like visuals these days.
1. Treasure hunting. One of the biggest motivating factors and incentives to go on an adventure in the first place is not to find the One Piece, but to get some goddamn gear, be it armor or weapons, or maybe unlocking a cosmetic skin, abilities that you can use that permanently are added to the arsenal of the character you're using, or maybe it's ability that you can use exclusively.
Yeah, I have no motivation to go search for chests where they're just gonna give me like a couple of asterite when like I could just whip out my wallet. That's me though. That's me. That's just me. I know other people love that, and they love that they can get some like free to play like asteroids. 100%. I get it, but for me, it's like fuck. I'll just spend my money. You know, I'm one of those. Yeah. I'm one of those people. Whale alert.
Area to overcome mobs, or
I don't feel compelled to search for chests
to take with you on your adventure. And lastly, hidden discoverable places where maybe you get a nice little Easter egg, which to be fair, that part does exist in gacha games, although quite scarce. It is there. Sometimes you can get a hidden area though, and maybe you have some special connection with the character, and if you never went to that area, you never would have had the interaction. These are the kind of things that make up treasure hunting in a game for a very positive explorative experience. And the reason they don't exist in a gacha game, well, that would cut into the heaping amounts of revenue that they bring in month over.
Yeah, because like if as soon as you put weapons and gear in like exploration chests, the whole point of gacha games is for you to grind for your gear. That's it. You have to grind for your drops and rolls. You have to grind for the asteroids to pull for the currencies. It's this. There's no reason for them to do that. There's no reason, and that's exactly the same way that I've always felt about these, and that this has kind of mirrored my thoughts, kind of like one-to-one so far, on how I take these things.
Per month. They can't add armor and weapons to your explorative experience because they're selling you those things inside of their microtransactions. They can't add skins in there because they just don't want to do that. They'd rather sell.
Oh my god, I keep pausing it. I'm so sorry, but I just had like a memory. I remember playing like The Witcher 3, for example, and you go into like a certain area and you pick up something that tells you like you have like the cat school gear armor, and then it takes you around the whole map for you to like explore and find different parts of like the cat school gear that you can then like equip and use. And once you've done it, you feel this like massive sense of satisfaction when you finally like complete the set. Like stuff like that was like really fucking cool. That was great. That was peak exploration for me.
That to you as well. Abilities affect the very inherent design of a gacha game because abilities are sold to you through selling the characters to you. All of the things that make up a very fun experience for treasure hunting is tied to microtransactions and their monetary incentives. And another reason you can't obtain gear through exploration is because that would clash with the very idea and concept of a stamina consumption system. And no, a stamina consumption system isn't designed to prevent you from burning out. You're giving them too much credit. It's designed to encourage you to refresh to spend money. Gacha developers know good and well how impatient gamers can be when they want to have good gear. And so they put that stamina system in there because they know you're going to run into that wall and go, damn it, I want to farm some more and I want to get my gear now. Guys, one of the most amazing...
But they only let you get one a month. So like, it's not that bad, right? It's not that bad. Bro, I've used those stamina refreshes like so many fucking times because I've never pre-farmed enough. And then the character comes out and everyone has like day one builds and I don't. And I'm like, fuck! And then I end up spending to get the stamina refreshes so I can like farm the materials, and like I'm a consumer. I'm a consumer, goddammit. I'm the part of the fucking problem. I'm part of the fucking problem. I've just realized. Holy fuck.
Experiences I've ever had in the realms of exploration was from Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, and 10. And that was discovering legendary weapons and summons for my characters. Oh my god. And you know what was cool about this is before the game got fully fleshed out and we freaking giga no-lifed it and discovered it all, and now the guides became accessible on the internet, you had to go and find these things. You would get a magazine in the mail that would show you, or you could buy it with the game's purchase, and it would show you what the weapons look like, but it wouldn't tell you where they were, right? Or it would show you what the summons look like, but they wouldn't show you where they were. And so you were deeply motivated before beating the game, or even after beating the game, to go out in the world and explore and find these legendary weapons and these legendary summons that were incredibly powerful and incredibly unique to your gaming experience. This is something that will never, ever exist in a gacha game. This is also why people love exploring in Elden Ring. Elden Ring offers you all kinds of weapons and armor for you to unveil as you go through your journey. And there's even
that is like some of the whole point of these games. The whole point is to find and gain, and you get that dopamine feeling when you finally hit that chest, or like it's when you naturally discover things. Because you know what I hate with these games, like when people like when you type in or search where do I find this weapon from, I like discovering it myself. I like stumbling across it myself. Otherwise, I feel like it takes enjoyment out of if you kind of look up where or how to sometimes get things. I love the grind of like exploring and finding new things like that. Like again, Witcher 3 was like my example with like the different types of school gears. But yeah, like it's such a lovely way of like going through a game, and it makes it really engaging, and it makes you feel like it's part of the world. Right? It's all integrated. Like, why is this like weapon in this place? That's what I loved about a lot of open world RPGs. It's like, okay, you found this weapon here, but why did this weapon? Who did this belong to? What did they do with it? What the significance behind it? And then you become way more interested in what is this shack that I've come across? Why is this sword in this place? Who was it? Like, it makes it so much more interesting, and it adds to the world building. It makes it important. Suddenly that place and location becomes like important to you, or for something that you're doing, and it ties in together, and it's great.
Even rich amounts of lore to pick up, and you never know who the hell you're going to run into, and you have the option of killing them or joining them. These things never actually exist inside of a gacha game because, once again, it goes against the very nature of their monetary system. Hence, argument number one of why a gacha game's exploration will forever remain shallow. The next category of exploration I want to delve into next that is lacking is danger, which is kind of compounding on top of treasure hunting. Two references that go to my mind: Final Fantasy XI, the MMO. Anybody who's ever played it will tell you, and maybe you know what, even World of Warcraft as well. But one you will know for sure is probably,
yeah, in World of Warcraft, especially at the time where it's like you go to a different area and enemies become harder, then you become overwhelmed. Like, you die a lot in MMOs, and you'll die in a lot of open world games. You'll come across like a pool of enemies that you don't know how to deal with. It's like fucked. But in like gacha, you just slap them around. You slap them around with like unbuilt characters. Like, it doesn't matter. There's no sense of like worry or fear, you know. It's one of those. I never played 11, only 14. I remember the old days of Genshin where exploration only served as a way to collect play currency. I mean, that's kind of what it is for a lot of them, right? But yeah, like again, World of Warcraft. I keep going back to Witcher 3. I keep going back to Witcher 3 because that game legitimately like changed how I completely view gaming when that first came out. But it's such a good example. Like, even though like you can kind of come across anything and approach it like in any way, it still felt very satisfying. Like, you will die, but you try again, and then you figure out the way to actually like succeed or kill whatever it is that you're killing. You don't really get that in gachas.
Probably Xenoblade Chronicles, because all three of them shared that same concept of, as you were exploring out in that world, that open world, there was a strong chance you'd run into a ridiculously strong mob, and it would clap your cheeks if you dared try to fight it, or if you got too close to it. This gave you a thrill of excitement as you were trying to traverse the map and get to wherever the hell you were going.
Bro, I remember World of Warcraft Mr. Pandaria when that first came out, where you had like they had like these big world bosses, and you had like, what is it, the Shah of Anger that would spawn sometimes, and then like hundreds of people would be there to fucking take it down for the chance to get like a mount. Like the Thunder and Onyx, like Cloud Serpent, like when that happened, I remember that being like such like a mega thing at the time. I don't know why that stuck in my head. I think because I tried to farm that for literally fucking months and I never got it, and it stuck out in my brain. But things like that is what like also makes Overworlds like kind of fun. But that's like the MMO experience. Again, MMOs. What made it good was having a lot of people there. Galleon and the Shah of Anger, yeah, bro.
Yes, if you fought it, there was a chance that you would fail, die, and have to start over. This added to the dopamine of beating it, overcoming it, and potentially getting some insanely rare gear or getting nothing at all. Once again, no danger in a gacha games open world. Guys, the last thing you will experience inside of a gacha game exploration is danger. All of the challenge is tied into in-game content.
The level of danger you get from a gacha game is running around with a level 1 Ling Yang. Run around with a level 1 Ling Yang and then maybe you'll have like a sense of danger. But yeah, but I don't think people, I think it's like a too much. I think a lot of people actually enjoy the fact that you can like whack shit around. Like there's a level of satisfaction you get from building up your characters and being able to like one-shot things in the overworld that a lot of people like, especially when it comes down to farming, right? Especially when it comes to farming, because like who wants to like in Woowa, for example, why would you want to farm something that takes a long time to fucking kill constantly? No one would want to do that. So it kind of goes against that philosophy too. Like you can't have it both ways. We were trying to do that with red mobs at Word early game. Yeah, early game that was fun. You had those like level 100 then 120 mobs that made it like you figure it out. But it kind of became boring when everyone figured out you just do dodge counters. They became fucking boring and easy as shit after that. Like I'll be real.
Content, none of it exists not only through MSQ progression, but it also doesn't exist in exploration as well. And while we're on the topic, what subcategories go under the word danger? Well, it would be nice if there were rare boss spawn-ins, because that is going to give you a exciting factor that's pretty surprising, and more importantly, it's going to give you that thrill of danger as you're exploring around. Now, of course, you always have the option to run away, but the fact that it can spawn in creates an air of excitement and what ifs. This next one not only adds to danger, but it also adds to the thrill of adventure, and that would be random dungeons spawning into the world map design. I don't know, it can be underneath the ground, it can be a freaking alternate dimension that you ran into on accident with some rare goblin spawns for you to get some very juicy gear. None of these things can exist. Again,
the problem is the gear. Like you're not gonna get, you find a dungeon, you're not gonna get rewarded with like anything useful out of it that you could then use, and that's just always gonna be the problem
inside of a gacha game, because once again that would involve you getting some gear. And the biggest issue with these lack of qualities existing is it diminishes incentive to explore beyond unlocking the map as merely a check mark. It makes the activity feel repetitive, mundane, and uninspired. Which, speaking of which, I want to talk about the next problem in these games, which is map interactables. This is one thing that absolutely exists in gacha games, and sometimes it's done decently well, but most times it just feels like, what am I doing this for? An example that comes to mind is going to be Wuthering Waves, when you're jumping on rooftops with the freaking echo that looks like a teddy bear. It's like a game that does this masterfully well is Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, or even the second one.
This is really cool, but I feel like nobody uses it. Do you know what I mean? Because it doesn't really matter. I feel like it doesn't really matter. It's cool that it exists, but no one really uses it that much.
If you want to get across that river,
we found another one, boys. You lost the argument, dumbass bitch. What argument are you referring to, sir? Yeah, could you tell me what argument you're referring to? Yeah, bro actually made an account today. Not everything needs your 2 cents. You don't have to interject yourself to drama with Jenna and Saint. Okay, that doesn't answer this. Tectone lives with Jenna so he can comment, bitch. Yeah, it's a fake Jenna fan. This is why your YouTube vid did absolute shit. Did you watch my video?
You have to build a boat to get across that river, and no, there's no other alternative. You gotta build the boat. If you want to reach up to that high altitude spot in the middle of freaking space, you have to create an air balloon to get up there. These are what give real purpose to map interactables. But often at times in gacha games, map interactables are just merely that. You can interact with them, but it's not really necessary in any capacity, unless of course you're doing some puzzle. But the puzzle at the end of it doesn't reside something that's going to be very like enticing to you. It's usually just currency that equates to a speck of dirt. Map interactables to me, based off my
some of the bro, do you remember the ones where you have to like walk across the ground in a certain pattern and it'll give you like a percentage? it gives you a percentage of like, oh, you've walked over 9%, and then all you get is like you get nothing for it. You get like all the rewards as long as you hit 50% or 60, but you get nothing if you hit like 100. That made me sad. That made me a little sad, I'm not gonna lie. I put all that effort in just for the achievement and not for like a reward. Sad.
Experience with gaming should be placed inside of a game primarily to enhance your experience to traverse to certain areas and to overcome traversal barriers. But often at times in gacha games, that's not the case. In essence, exploration systems are deliberately designed not to overshadow or replace the gacha mechanic. Developers favor controlling progression and rewards through monetary systems rather than rewarding players fully via exploration. Now, this next one I want to talk to you about is an interesting one because I don't believe it would take away from their monetary incentive at all. In fact, it would only add into the value of the current existing.
This is a good point. I like this too, where you actually had to go and collect things and interact with it, and like the night, I forgot what they're called, the echoes that you come up against that have like kind of lore associated to them when you fight them. That stuff is cool, and I would like more of those. It made it better. The devs tried to make the overworld stuff like a lot better when it came to 2.0, and it showed. Like 2.0 is like way better than the 1.0 overworld. I couldn't give a shit at all about the 1.0 overworld. I did none of it. Couldn't give a rat's ass at all, but 2.0 they really tried to make it way more like immersive than it was, but it's still like a long way from what like a normal open world RPG like sets out to be. The quest is nice. Yeah, that's it, exactly.
Dynamic of a gacha game, and that is side quests. Side quests are some of the most worthless fucking experiences you will ever have inside of a gacha game. The primary focus in my mind for a side quest should not just be merely you being a goddamn mailman errand boy dropping newsletters off at every.
Oh, wait, part 2? Wait, he's back. I'm not the pusser. Your viewers are for reporting me. You are such a boring, untalented piece of shit. Tell me to kill myself. Do it. Please rip it. Please just tell me. Please. This is why your YouTube vids do so shit. You get ratioed constantly. Yes. Me and my average like percent of like 98% definitely gets me ratioed. You're a leech trying to suck the success of Tectone, Saint, and Jeddah. Yeah, keep going. You should finish it off with telling me to kill myself, by the way. So either speed up to the end or like keep going with something like more entertaining. Next time, shut the fuck up. Saint tried to give you valid criticism and you ignored him like a dumbass. Yeah, that's so much of a problem. Do you know what's gonna really piss you off? Just gonna piss you off. We all played League of Legends like 2 days ago. Proves my point. You are a leech. Me having friends means I'm a leech. Oh my god.
Everyone's houses. There's no real purpose outside of that, right? Or just doing like jobs that don't really equate to anything. It should be tied in to unveiling sweet lore, unveiled to either the world building or maybe the character development of the characters you're enjoying as you're progressing through the story. Side quests should be a means for you to appreciate the game's world building more, not just, hey, young man, can you go over there and fetch the fertilizer for me on my grass? No, nigga, I don't want to do that. What the hell does this have to do with the world? This is yet again a massive problem with side quests, and I dare say the majority of people probably have their catalog looking like mine. And that is, the side quests have racked up so large it's giving your catalog watch list for animes to watch a run for its money. Overall, while initially exploring in gacha games can enhance the world building and the atmosphere, it's generally not a core rewarding gameplay loop. It often serves merely as a backdrop or a mild distraction from the gacha-focused progression, limiting long-term engagement and immersion. This design choice
very
is
much like a visual
driven
thing.
by monetary incentives.
A lot of the open world is a visual experience more than anything,
meaningful
or a place to do side quests.
Exploration, which I find very problematic. Don't get me wrong, there's always a middle ground where we can meet, where they're still gaining heaps of revenue while still preserving the quality of the game's overall exploration experience. But alas, gacha games will always remain with a deep budget for world design and a small budget for experiencing the world building itself in its full essence. That's gonna wrap up this video on why I said gacha games will always have a shallow, explorative experience. You guys do comment down below and let me know your thoughts. As always, I strive to invoke critical thought amongst our community. Peace, love, and happiness, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.
I really like this video. I feel this laid out, honestly, this mirrors kind of a lot of the thoughts that I have. I understand that this isn't the thought for everyone. A lot of people do like the chest gathering. A lot of people do like being able to open up a chest, feeling those primos or those astrites or whatever it is, and they enjoy that, and that's okay. I just know for me, there's a reason why I haven't 100%ed everything, and I think Gacha Smack mirrors that to what I personally feel. But I totally understand when other people have a different like perspective on this and might not, you know, agree with the whole thing. But I think the underlying tone is right, of like the reward you get for like putting in the effort to explore doesn't always feel right or apt or like on the nose for it. But overall, I like this. What are the comments like on this video? Some comments are missing the point. After collecting all the chests, there's nothing much to do afterwards. Oh, is this causing a bit of a... Well, to say I agree with the first few points, I have to disagree with the side quest point. While playing Wu, where I got so much hidden excess lore throughout those others I wouldn't have had, that completely changed the way I viewed the world. And I'm not just talking about a particular field, I'm talking about pretty much all of them. I think Wuthering Waves does have good lore attached to a lot of its side quests, like 100%. But I feel this video is pointing more towards the actual exploration just of its own, not from side quests, but from actually going to a place and figuring something out. Like I said, 2.0 really stepped the bar in what you come across into the overworld, and they're really trying to implement that more and more. And I hope the devs take that even further with 3.0 and onwards, and to any more map updates that they do. To really like have that, and for you to get involved. So I think this is a good video to underpin some of the main reasons why some people don't like explorations. It's definitely kind of a more subjective video, but it mirrors a lot of my thoughts. So I think it's an interesting conversation to have. I think it's a very, very interesting conversation to have. So I appreciate y'all. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm live every single day on Twitch and Kick. I appreciate y'all. Subscribe right now to get 3 inches on your PP, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Twitch.tv/Captain Cabinetz, Captain Cabinetz.
Is there always something that we have to fucking say?